Hey, there we are. So, about a year later, I haven't done one of these videos in a year. Um, so, my apologies to the few people that are watching. I have been watching your videos and I really enjoy the content. So, I have been away for a while, and the first reason was paying debt is just not exciting enough to show. I felt like I was showing the same thing week in, week out. I'm not a holdings expert. I don't know specific stocks. I can't do technical analysis. Mine is 100% speculative, so I really don't have anything to offer on the stock. Purchasing the stocks themselves. But what I do have to offer is my story, and what I want to document is how I became debt free, and that is that's been my, I would say, third largest accomplishment in life. And that did just happen on October 30th. A few days ago. I guess almost 2 weeks now. But I'm pretty excited about it, and I had to do a lot of sacrifice this past year. But you can't see in my numbers. I still, I could have became debt free much sooner. I did some other purchasing, and I will get into that a little more. But first, let's go into some numbers here. Um, let's see here. Let's see. So the big one here is this used to be all red. Actually, probably my last video was everything was red here except for my investments and my cash savings. But my net worth was definitely in the red. I didn't have, not counting retirement and property. And my current debt was always in the red, and that was not until recently that changed. So here's where we're at. The numbers kind of speak for themselves. My overall, strategy was I put every dollar I could into paying my debt off. Pretty much a large portion this summer, and I'll tell you what, it's a pretty amazing feeling since I've done it. Just I look at things completely different. And the most important thing is I think I've developed the habit of being a lot more cautious of debt and being thrifty with my money. So that's pretty good. What are some numbers I want to show you guys? Here's a difference of a year ago when I made my last video and to where I'm at today. And last video showing this anyways. So I had a net worth of negative 11 grand. Now I have a positive net worth of 9 grand. So that's a difference of $20,000, changing for the better. My cash savings, I'm doing the Dave Ramsey thing where I had $1,000 emergency fund. Right now I'm at $23.99. I did, change that a little bit, and ultimately I did have about $4,000 cash savings before I paid my debt off. It felt stupid. It made no sense. So I paid my debt off, and I felt really good after I did it. I recommend highly to do that if you get the chance. Pending you have your habits in place. That's also key. My taxable investments, $1,200, are now $7,000, and there's a reason behind that, and I'll go into that later. Here's the big kahuna here, the $12,000 in debt I had, recordable debt, on November 16th, 2018, is now down to zero. That was pretty much at the time my camper, and two of my student loans, I want to say, back then. So I took them out. I was teeing up on my camper pretty hard because that interest rate was at 15%, and that was pretty stupid. But we got that out of the way. I'm still doing my Roth and everything. Let's get back to the big board here. Let's uncover our next thing here. So, like I said, everything's based off Dave Ramsey for me. My thing is I don't want to get plugged up. I've got all this money over here, and tell you the truth, folks, I'm not that anyone's going to miss it, but I'm probably going to stray away from doing these types of videos anyways. I love doing YouTube. I want to get better at it. I want to have good content, but I want to have content that helps people, and showing my numbers, showing my assets. The big thing was getting out of debt, and it's probably not a good idea to go much further with this as a public number. You never know either. My net worth could go down tomorrow. So just want to point that out. But regardless, it's just not a good practice to do that, I don't think. Anyways, I know other people do it. That's great. I'm going to stay away from that. So my overall concept here is I don't want to get plugged up. Dave Ramsey talks about this concept is, like a swamp gets plugged up and it gets smelly and stuff. I don't want to get wrapped up in my numbers too much. So I do really want to, I'll attentively watch my numbers, watch my, my investments and everything, but I'm not going to check them 4 times a day or, maybe once or twice a week. As long as I have a good budget in place, I'm doing the right things, I'm going to go with that. And that's really what I want to be. The channel is called Jab to Win Finance, and you really do have to, that name does hit home for me, and I think that's the best way. When you're in a fight, you want to you want to use your jab because it takes the least amount of energy, and it's just really good. And looks like I got my speaker on right now, and you get the most results. So versus the knockout blow or whatever, you learn a lot more. You get muscle memory with your jab. You get a lot of good things come with the jab in basic fighting. So, and that's how you got to approach this debt thing. It's a fight for your life, literally. And what am I? I'm 44 now, and I'm debt free. This is the first time I've become debt free since the age of 18. Because I remember at the age of 18, I was so excited to go take out I can't remember if it was a Target card or a JCPenney's department store card, but it was something to build my credit, and everyone knew you could go get a Penny's card or whatever and start building your credit. So I entered debt the first on my 18th birthday, ironically enough. So that's where I want to take the YouTube channel a little more and actually start doing some things that are useful for a change versus showing what I'm doing, because what I'm doing is pretty simple and whatnot. So, which does lead me to, I want to bring up my next topic, which explains this number right here. Everyone's probably like, hey, what's going on? Because a year ago, I think I only had $1,200 invested or whatever. And, I saw an opportunity to start buying. I'm not sure if anyone knew or if I talked about it before, but I'm big on another Dave Ramsey concept is having a cash car. So I've always had a cash fund for saving up for a car. I will never get into a car payment again. You can bet on that. I will drive a POS before I drive something with a car payment. So I figured I've got a car. It's paid. It's cash. But there's a certain type of car I want that I know I'm pretty sure with my current job and my situation, I can make the car I have now last long enough to save up, and I'm going to invest to do that saving. So my car fund is in investments, and here's what the investment is. It's going to be Tesla. I know. The risk is high, but it's, I'm doing a $500 payment to myself a month, in the form of I'm buying about $500 worth of Tesla taxable every month. And I've been doing this for about 6 months now, I think. And this is where I'm at. Everyone knows what, anyone pretty much knows what Tesla's been doing since Q3 earnings was announced. I held off on that. I thought they were going to have a loss, so I took a little gamble and held off on kind of this money right here because I've got some in my retirement also. So I made a little mistake, but that's how you learn, and it just goes to prove you can't time the market. And I need to just stop since I don't have the technical ability to do so anyways. But I still do time it to a point. I think the market is high right now. It's overvalued, and that does lead me to another point here. Let's go to my budget. Hopefully this isn't bad. What I'm gonna do is right now, I'm gonna have some investing cash on the side. I'm not gonna be buying anything besides my Tesla for now. I'm gonna try to invest about $270 on my budget. This is my kind of what my budget is right now after being debt free. Is pretty awesome because I have little bills anyways. So I get to put a lot towards that. The difference between housing buildup and cash house is this is going to be gone before long, but it's just like if I ever want to move, I think it's about $3,000 to move, and I'm going to have 3,000 on the sidelines there, for first, last, and deposit, whatever. And I always like to have the ability to take like a month or so to move if I need to. So you'd have to rent two houses simultaneously. Now, cash house, this is for my cash. I want to save up cash for a house, believe it or not. And this is the start right here. So, full disclosure, I lost a house before to foreclosure because I made poor financial decisions. And that's where we're at on this. So anyhow, that's me. That's where I'm at. Don't get plugged up. I want to start helping others because I know it's mind over matter with finance. It's so simple. Actually, everything I've done here just takes a little bit of discipline. It's simple. It's simple on paper, in theory, and in method, but it's not once you get out there. You just gotta develop the habit of, becoming thrifty, I think, and just not buying stupid stuff. And I'm guilty of both, or of, not being thrifty and buying stupid crap. And I just don't have the desire to anymore because, that's where I'm at. I want to help others. I want to, you got to give. You got to give at least 10%. I wasn't always that good at giving my 10% when I was in debt. Since I've been out of debt, I've turned on the 10% back on, believe me. So, and that feels great to be able to do. Let's see. That's about it. Like I said, probably not going to